It's been a while since we did this. I want to say that this is our second episode of Staff Meeting, which is where everybody on Non-Productive comes and talks about the things we're making for Non-Productive. And I just now realized that I said it would be weekly when I meant it would be monthly. But maybe hold my feet to the fire on that one. Maybe this is a weekly thing. Maybe we should do it all the time. Just me and you. And a cast of thousands as I one by one introduce everyone back into the stream. Russell, Jen Rogers, and Dave. Fan club famous Dave. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Staff Meeting. We have so much to cover this episode. First, let's do a little round table and catch up with everyone. There are two new faces who weren't in the first episode. Jen, I want to throw it to you first. Jen Rogers, we all love your art. We love your enthusiasm for Umbrella Academy. And frankly, we love you. Talk to us a little bit about what you've been up to lately as I creepily pull the camera directly onto you.
Oh my God.
We've not discussed any of the cutting or the camera angles or anything during this.
Well, mostly just trying to get through one of the most awful periods of our lives.
Summer.
Yeah.
I agree. The worst possible season. If you disagree, leave a comment and I will block
I hope you can't hear the giant fan I have going on behind me because it's so goddamn hot.
No, I can't actually hear it, but I feel it in my bones. Yeah. So, it's been a hectic time. I'm so glad to get to talk to you again. There's so many different things I want to talk to you about. I hate to make it like Umbrella Academy only, but it's going to be a lot of Umbrella Academy on this. It's going to be 90% of the one frame of information we got from Netflix Geeked.
For people who don't know, I'm married to Russell, and he has to hear about this all the time. And you should feel terrible for him.
I have plenty of geeky hobbies that I want to talk about, so it's okay. You're allowed an obsession or two.
I get intense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, mostly just getting by, doing the boring 9 to 5, but also been working hard on artwork for Russell's Game Tiers, which we'll talk about later.
Ooh, yes.
And pretty excited about how that stuff is turning out.
Mm-hmm. I really love it, and I can't wait to talk about the cover first of all, and then everything else afterwards. Dave, we haven't had you on the people who are on our fan club know you. You are a frequent. What is it? The little tag they give you?
Top fan.
Conversation starter or something?
Yeah,
a problematic person. Yeah, that's probably
yes,
Dave, how have you been staying sane the last few weeks, months, years, however long we've been doing this?
I don't know if you call it staying sane.
Oh,
but
I should have cleared that with you first. Sorry about that. Well, you know what? You look fine.
Lots and lots of miniature wargaming.
Nice.
Like too much miniature wargaming.
At pretty much any level of miniature board gaming is too much. I did see you posted a little picture of the apparently Muslim-coded paladin in the D&D set, and I did see it for sale, and I was like, I might have to put down $5 for this thing. It's pretty cheap and it's cute.
I mean, there's connotations from paladins originally being in the Crusades. But as geek culture has gone on from D&D, it's like more just generic holy warriors. So it's good to see other religions represented as holy warriors.
Yeah, it looks cool at very least, and maybe worth a couple of bucks. But yeah, well, we're going to be talking about a bunch of geek stuff with each other. In fact, this is the time we should probably share the agenda. I don't catch up with Al or Russell. If I talk to you via a live stream to the internet last week, I can't catch up with you again. It's elite.
Nothing new.
Nobody ever wants to know nobody wants to know what I've been up to during the week. It's very creepy. It's very much what we do in shadows, staying in a coffin and emerging. All right, so our agenda for today, we're going to talk about Geeked Week, Netflix's appropriation of geek culture. Umbrella Academy, of course, as we said, we have some speculation about the titles of the various episodes. Not quite spoilery for anybody who is worried about that kind of stuff. Tiers update about Russell and your latest release just today, actually, at the time we were broadcasting. And then we've got some more stuff. Hopefully we'll have some book club material that we could go through. And then, of course, at the very end of the show, and we'll give you plenty of notice before we start, just in case you haven't seen it yet, we're going to talk about Loki. It premiered on Disney Plus today, and maybe answer some viewer mail questions. So let's begin. Geeked Week. I was immediately angry as soon as I saw that they were doing this. That's our word.
Isn't this like the second time they've done this?
I wasn't aware of the first. Yeah.
Or actually, no, YouTube did a Geek Week.
Yeah, when I looked it up, I
so
forgot.
They're appropriating people who are appropriating.
It's absolutely true. Actually, when I looked up, I thought it was Geek Week at first, and there's a difference. So when I looked up Geek Week, Rutgers University, my the schools that I went to,
alma mater, your alma mater.
That's the one. They're not a good school because I don't know the word. They do a Geek Week officially, and I'm like, when we ran a game club at Rutgers University. Knowledge drop. We had to meet at the basement of a river dorm, and they chased us out with baseball bats. It was a baseball club,
how things have changed.
Yes,
a little bit.
But no, it is cool to. It is as a friend of the show, Jesse Baruffi, author Jesse Baruffi, has said, it is a geek culture having won the culture wars is a monkey's paw wish. Yeah. It's both really cool and then very terrifying. But let's focus on the good stuff. There's a lot of awesome things coming out of Netflix. And anybody have any highlight they want to share with the class before we go?
Oh, absolutely. I'm extremely excited for Taken on Ice. I'm very into that. That's like they showed me that trailer and I was like, no, I'm in. I'm pumped.
So tell us more about Taken on Ice.
So it's got Liam Neeson and Lawrence Fishburne, and it's like they did Taken on a train, they did Taken on a plane. It's now it's ice road trucking with Liam Neeson. I'm here for it. I want to see this awesome movie of extreme action star Liam Neeson going ice road trucking. I'm into this. Taken on Ice. Let's do it.
So that was one of the little bullets that showed up in the synopses, and I was like, I'm not.
They showed the trailer for it. I was like, it looked really good. So I was.
But now that you've referred to it as Taken on Ice, I'm deeply, deeply excited about it. Hey, guess who just geniusly used the private chat to let me know? I had to scroll down because I didn't see Gwen. Gwen is also here. Gwen, we miss you, and I haven't seen you forever, and we'll catch up after the show. But now you're exclusively here to talk about geek things and then eventually books, as you are contractually obligated to do in every social interaction. Yes, and you brought books. So Taken on Ice is wonderful, Al. Thank you for that observation. Anybody else have something that they've seen in the Geek Week teases? Dave?
It's actually not a show, but Magic the Gathering announced on Geeked Week that they are releasing a small Stranger Things set.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
And some of the artwork they show previewed for it looks really, really good.
Yep.
That's neat.
11's going to be a planeswalker. So, why not?
All I know is there better be an Eggo Waffles artifact that makes food tokens.
Nice.
We'll have to see about the licensing on that. I don't know. I mean, they had some really cute Netflix. They have really cute Stranger Things toys, actually, including a little 11 Nendoroid. So it was this cute little 11 posable character. But they couldn't get the Eggo branding, so she's just holding a box that says waffles.
Oh no!
Well, they can make a waffles artifact. I don't care.
Yeah, close enough.
Just want waffles in my Magic game.
Frozen waffles.
Yeah,
like that.
They did a similar thing last year with Walking Dead, and I didn't really care about that because I don't watch Walking Dead.
Oh, so like the rest of the world.
I think it was like a couple years too late to really get in on the popularity of that show.
I mean,
in pre-production, I told
still
everyone
true here, but
in pre-production, I told everyone, like, well, yeah, we don't go hard on anything, and then immediately I'm the only one who's being criticizing Netflix, Walking Dead, all the tall poppies there are. No, I did enjoy Walking Dead for a time, but like, yeah, I think it's in its fading period.
Nadir.
I think, do they have declared that that they're reaching the final season? I think so. I think that they may have, or at least that they have a set number of seasons that are going to go before it ends. But that wasn't released. Yeah,
I think you're right.
No. Well, Stranger Things definitely. I think it's got maybe 2 more seasons, 1 or 2 more seasons. But Walking Dead, I believe, also has an end point.
If it's a Netflix show, it will be canceled because they just want new shows to bring in new viewers.
Don't do that
they have a
they have said that.
Well, they have a what is it? Years ago, I remember there being an article in which I believe that they said 4 seasons is what you should expect from a good show. Like that's what they expect to get out of a successful property. So that's kind of like the idea. It's like that's kind of the cutoff because it's diminishing returns after the 4th season. So I don't know how Supernatural stayed on the air that long, but apparently,
miracle play.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like that. According to their data, once you get to season 4, then you don't attract new fans anymore, and it just starts to peter out. So
is that still true though with streaming? I would
assume
that streaming might have changed that.
Well, they're the streaming king, and that's the creepy thing about Netflix is that they have such rich data that they don't really have to share with anyone. Right? They don't tell anybody. Things. They just know things, including like they know like which movies, for example, which horror movies are the most disturbing because of the ones people don't finish, which I think is maybe not quite accurate because I stop watching movies when I can't watch them anymore. But I guess a combination of that and the rating gives them an idea of which ones are the most disturbing.
Netflix has
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Netflix has gotten me and a lot of Americans actually interested in Formula One, which nobody else has ever done in history.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's weird. Al, what were you saying?
I was like, the reason why shows like Supernatural might be exceptions to the rules because it's not about the show as much as the brand. Like the idea was probably to make money off of the brand, not the show, and that the show was just going on to keep brand awareness going and to profit off of that.
I don't know about that because Kripke,
I remember. Sorry,
Kripke, the creator of the show apparently had planned on them fighting Satan. Spoiler alert for like now a 15-year-old plot point in like season 7 or something. We haven't got
there yet.
Further spoiler alert: they don't die, and they just kept on going. So I think like I just think that some things are fire. I don't think you can determine what is great or not. What's really impressive is when a show knows when it's had enough and can actually have the room to say this is our finale. This is how we want to wrap things up. So kind of tying it back in to Geeked Week and Stranger Things is what I felt was super big news from the podcasting world is
I'm excited about this.
There's a 6 episode, I think, Stranger Things scripted and a book scripted podcast for one of the characters, Robin. Right. So that's awesome. I love expanding the universe and giving people other mediums in which to watch something where it's really going to be maybe cost prohibitive to do like a full series on one character, but a podcast series.
I mean,
that's pretty cool.
I would watch a Robin miniseries, but I understand why they're not making it.
Right.
I get it. Well, but I'm excited to read the book.
That's because everybody wants that Steve miniseries.
They're gearing up for that one, right? The offshoot
Steve the babysitter. Babysitter's Club featuring Steve. That would be an interesting crossover.
They did also have that kind of unusual thing as well. Like again on Stranger Things, that drive-in experience. It's a stage show that sort of summarizes Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But it's you drive in. It's a drive-in theater thing, It was.
Yeah.
I did not. I don't know. Maybe
It
I'm
was
just
a
not
lot of
very much
images
up in my
and
theater.
colors and people being hung up by wires.
What was the
Yeah.
ad for,
you-
though?
Are
Was
you
the ad
describing
for-
Spider-Man? Like
Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark? No. Although, wait a minute, maybe no.
maybe some overlap?
Yeah. Does anyone know what it was? I think it was a promotion for season 3. I think they're gearing season 4. They're
Yeah, I
gearing
think it
up.
was a promo for season 4. Yeah.
I also think that we sound a lot like people who don't understand why the teenagers go to the planetarium to watch the Laser Light Show. Like, what are you doing?
I mean,
Teenagers in the
right.
planetarium all night. What are they doing? Yeah.
I'm just not sure. Like, is that a show they are going to show on Netflix that you can watch on Netflix, or is it a production they're putting on?
I think it's just a bit they were doing for Geeked Week. I think.
Yeah, I think they're gradually gearing up for those pop-up events that used to happen back in the before times and the long ago. I remember there was a bar or something.
Yes, I have friends who went to that bar in like Brooklyn. The themed Stranger Things and had the lights on the wall, the whole deal.
Right, and all that stuff obviously faded away last year, and I think they're gradually creeping them back up. Drive-in theater is a smart place to try it because of the inherently socially distanced aspect to it. I'm sure we're going to get B-roll of it somewhere in some compendium of all the wonderful things that are going to happen in season 4, and I am really excited because I really do. So far, this cast hasn't gotten weird. Right, and that's the big danger of having little kids who have spent so many years in a role. They get really weird out in the wild, and I haven't seen that yet. So I'm pulling for them. I hope this works out. And Enola Holmes was a really good movie. It was very cute.
We like it.
Yeah.
What has me excited for season 4 is 1986 is the year the national release of the NES in America.
Oh, nice.
So
I think there's at least one episode about that.
It's going to be one episode about them like camping out overnight to get one, or is that I don't know. I don't remember 1986 well enough. Thing? I know I was alive, but it is now. I don't know that it was back then. I don't know. It might have just been too much of an oddity.
I remember a year later in 1987 in first grade getting made fun of because I only had an Atari.
That will probably be a thing, though.
Yeah.
Well, because what's his name got the Atari. So that'll probably be a thing. Like, what are you doing playing with that baby's toy?
Yeah, I'm just hoping it's pretty much 100% crossover with the toys they made us. That there's no original creepy footage in Stranger Things 4. It's just cross promotion for other Netflix properties. Speaking of which, Cowboy Bebop came up in day 2. I think that's great. We got a release date, don't we? I think we do, or maybe we had that one from before. I think we have a release date for Sandman, which is amazing. Almost no footage, which makes sense because they're just now.
They released sets, though. Did you watch
behind
that video?
the scenes photos?
Oh, we got to take turns. We have to take turns, or this is going to be nonsense. But yes, Gwen, you say something. Did I watch what?
They shared a video of like set design and some of the Neil Gaiman like walking you through and talking about how it was basically like stepping into a dream, which is like
cute,
exactly what you want it to be. I'm excited about it. I'm not like a mega fan of Sandman, but I do love his other works. My youngest sibling is very into it. So,
anybody here a mega fan of either Neil Gaiman or Sandman specifically?
Sadly, no.
I love it. Oh my god, I cut my teeth on it in college. Dave, what about you? Are you super psyched about this?
Yeah, especially because of the casting.
Yeah,
especially that they got a non-binary actor for Desire.
That's really cool. Yeah.
But I mean, Sandman helped just shaped my views on some things with sexuality and gender. And my copy of Game of You, if you ever read that arc, has little tear stains in it.
Oh, that's so cool. It's such a seminal book for making comics mature for like a wide
actually mature and not just guns and boobs.
Well, I mean, that could be very mature, but yes, like we're like
Sophisticated, mature.
It was both mainstream successful and actually, relatively adult orientated and really good. And for those of you who are on Tumblr and follow Neil Gaiman, he has been doing an amazing job recently answering asks of him, including a couple of "Who are you?" Which people have been answering in increasingly ridiculous iterations of confusing him with other Neils.
He's been doing this
thousands
for years on Tumblr.
It's crazy. If you really just go in there and just have a day where you're just scrolling through all the different things Neil and his friends have claimed that he is. But yeah, I'm excited about the Sandman, and I'm super excited about Cowboy Bebop. I hope it will be given the respect it deserves. Yeah, I really enjoy it. I know that somebody involved who was confirmed on day 2, somebody specific. I'm trying to look at my notes. Was it? Oh, okay. Yeah, Yoko Kanno is coming back as the composer. That's great.
Nice.
And I'm pretty sure, although I can't find my notes right now, I'm pretty sure the release date for both of those have been announced. That's cool. I'm excited about it.
There's a little trepidatious about Cowboy Bebop just because live action anime has failed us so many times before.
Alita Battle Angel was pretty good.
I've heard it was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
I need to watch that. I love the manga.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate to be a little cautious because you can only be hurt so many times by geek properties. Anybody else have anything else from Geeked Week that we should?
Yeah, there was the Katie Sackhoff project. What is the
Katie Sackhoff project?
It's the TV show Another Life. That's that she produced and starred. She's produced and is also starring in, where they find an artifact on Earth that's alien and they go into space, and like the guy that plays Derek in Teen Wolf is in it.
I like Al recaps.
I'm trying to think of who else is in this TV show besides Katie Sackhoff, and it's that guy from Teen Wolf.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Michael J. Fox?
No, from the TV show Teen Wolf, not the movie Teen Wolf.
I would watch a Michael J. Fox return to television. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was anything else exciting certainly from day one. Just some stuff about Army of the Dead, which I've heard is enjoyable. It's supposed to be like one of the biggest.
Everyone I've heard talk about it says it's okay.
Yeah,
I had fun with it. It's not amazing.
That's a back of the box quote if there ever is one. Everybody I talk to about it says it's okay.
Jen, what were you saying?
I had a lot of fun with it. It definitely wasn't amazing. It wasn't even up to the standards of Zack Snyder's first zombie movie, the Dawn of the Dead remake from the early 2000s, which is surprisingly amazing. I hate everything else he's done basically, but that movie is solid. But yeah, Army of the Dead is not on that same level. It's much sillier. But I will say one thing: the zombie tiger is amazing because when it attacks, it does it like a real kitty cat.
Oh, that's awesome. I've also heard part of Geeked Week is that tiger was modeled off of a tiger that Carol Baskins is, if I remember the name correctly, from Tiger King. Had.
Oh boy!
You mean from Dancing with the Stars?
Yes, that's what I meant. Of course,
obviously.
But like, I don't know how that works. How do they model the tiger?
They put the tiger in a mocap suit, and then they have
the little balls all over him.
That must be it.
So that's just commitment to again Netflix cross branding. All right, let's talk a little bit Umbrella Academy season 3. I want Jen to have the spotlight here, but I do have some awesome graphics I would like to share with everyone. We have the most important details of all, deep, thick information that we need to share with everyone right there. You can all like make room and try to find it right there. We have episode
it's
titles.
All right, I'm cut out. I have actually never watched Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
Well,
so let's see. The Umbrella Academy, we've got our season 3 titles. We've got Meet the Family, World's Biggest Ball of Twine, Pocket Full of Lightning, Kugel Blitz, Kindest Cut, interesting, Marigold, Off Wiedersehen. Oh no. Oh no. Waiting at the end of the world. Who? And Six Bells and Oblivion. All right. So I don't know if I could share that throughout this. Who wants to be part of this conversation? Al, have you actually watched Umbrella Academy?
I have not. I
All
read
right.
half of the original graphic novel, and that's it.
I'm going to cut you off immediately and remove you from the stream. I'll put you back in a minute, I swear. Same thing with Dave. Goodbye. And now we have a little bit more room. Russell, I can remove you as well if you need a break from Jen Rogers.
I'm happy to hear what she has to say, so I'll hang in.
Good answer.
You have opinions too. You have
I do.
opinions.
I do
Yes.
have umbrella opinions.
All right, and I've already talked to Gwen about this, so she wants to be in it. So, what do we think about all of these? I'm going to see if I can pull that up and share it without overwhelming.
We all just lean to the side again.
Yeah, we can do that.
It's definitely fun information for the speculating fans to sink their teeth into, but I do feel a little misled. They made it seem like it was a first look. So
I wanted clips.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I got titles.
You would at least get like a couple stills, or I know that episode 1 is supposed to be mostly edited now, so maybe a short clip from episode 1. I don't know, but the titles is something. I'll take it.
That's very kind of you. I feel like this is a we're on a little bit of delay, but yeah, I feel like this is a maybe a last minute. Our production schedule for this hit show has already been set up. We don't have time for Geeked Week right now, but here, take this. I feel like that might be it.
A little.
I felt
we'll
that
throw
way
you a
about
bone.
a lot of the stuff. A lot of their stuff, I felt that way, that they were just kind of like, oh yeah, we're doing this thing. We got something to show, I mean, especially.
Yeah.
Does it feel a little bit like they realized that the world was opening back up and we weren't all like automatically going to sit on our couches and watch all their stuff anymore? And they were like, ooh, we might need to like draw them back in so that they can go outside.
Diabolical accusation from Gwen regarding Netflix. I don't know if they have that kind of power, but I am prepared to have a lengthy conversation about it.
I don't know.
It's.
I feel like Netflix would have been happy to put out more stills. I think it's the Umbrella team themselves and Steve, the producer. I think they're the ones going all mystery box on it. That's what
He's been clamping down. He's been clamping down pretty hard now. Actually, there's been a lot of fan speculation. Jen, of course, is the primary person to talk about this, but he's actually been on the social media as kind of like warning people off from too much speculation and so on. Like, I don't know, like a lot of his stuff on the Netflix is like how much they love the fans, they love their speculation and so on. But a few days before that, he was like asking some people, hey, please stop sharing your sneaky behind the scenes photos of the set.
Yeah. So on Friday, this past Friday, they were building a pretty elaborate set. I guess since he was so worried about spoilers, I won't say what it was, but I don't think it ruined anything about the plot. But they were building this elaborate set out in the middle of the public street. People can see it from the street. People can see it from their apartment windows. And there's some accounts that are even crazier than I am, just gathering it all in one place. And I think Steve had a fit of frustration, and he started saying to one of these girls, and she's like a 16-year-old girl. I feel awful for her. He was like, why do you want to wreck this for the other fans? And he was like, a real fan wouldn't ruin it for other fans. And I was like, oh no, that's terrible.
Maybe this is all just like an alternate reality game that has something to do with season 3 where everybody's in on it. Yeah, I mean, I really don't like having things spoiled, even though, the world is changing and what we think about as spoilers is it's changing, right? But at some point, I love to have fan interaction. That be so obsessed that they're following you and taking grainy photos of your set. I don't know.
Doesn't that mean you've made it? Like as a creator?
I guess
I have a theory. Right now they're shooting episode 7 out of 10. I think they're in the home stretch. They are starting to maybe have some reveals that they feel carry some real weight. And maybe only now they're starting to get really extra sensitive about like, no, we want this to be a secret. Like that's kind of what I think might be happening. Oh, yeah. My mom loves me.
Yay! For those listening to the podcast, Jen's mom loves her. Yeah, I think that's a very astute observation, and I do believe. I think we're going to get more complicated, plotty things, which is not really a shame, but not necessary. Like, it's character all the way for me for this show. And for everyone I've ever talked to, my nieces and nephews love this show, and they spend. I have one sister who has like 5 kids. I don't know why I said like. She has 5 kids, and they all argue about who they are. I'm not really sure. It's just a number, but they constantly like discuss who each of them are on the show. It has nothing to do with whatever the plot of the overarching thing is. It's all about characters. So
God, you're such a Klaus.
Yeah.
Well, now they're going to have to add the sparrows too. So,
yeah, they'll have even more. Good. Put on your readers and try to look at this thing. Because it's gonna be hard. But yes,
it okay to talk about it as though people have seen season 2, because the existence of the sparrows alone is a little spoilery.
I think so. I think it's been quite a while, and we're now that we're saying we're about to do it, you can tune in again in another like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the sparrows. I've not read any of the comics, and I'm a big comic person. I've never read any of them. In fact, it all kind of blew over my head like, oh, this is a Rockstar's comic book, some sort of vanity project that I don't need to care about. And I now I want to saw that. Yeah. But I do. I might want to revisit that. But let's do we want to do the recap so far now, or do you want to just go through the episode titles and think? But we're going to assume that you've seen enough of the show to know the characters' names as we bring them up. Is that good?
Okay.
All right.
It would take forever to go over all their names anyway.
Yes. Meet the Family has to be Meeting the Sparrows, right? Our heroes just came in.
That's all it really can be. And we don't know if they're going to have like immediately just a big drag them down fight. We don't know if it's going to be a big battle, or if they're just going to have to talk some shit out, or if they're just going to immediately run away. Like we have no idea.
Right.
Maybe all of these.
Umbrella Academy. Yeah, it's Umbrella Academy. We're going to do all 3 of those things.
Yes.
Klaus is going to run from the room. Luther's going to start punching somebody. Allison's going to start talking things out while Diego throws knives. I mean, it's
hoping that the presence of Sparrow Ben will be enough to keep Klaus from just immediately running away, but I guess we'll see.
Yes, I think that's fair, and hopefully the family, the Umbrella Academy proper, are going to stick together a little bit longer, because I love the dynamic between all of them. Although if they pair off, that's fine, as long as it's not like out alone in bunches. Yeah,
they're fun in little clusters.
World's Biggest Bowl of Twine feels like a road trip episode.
It does.
Yeah, so it's got to be a on location somewhere. Maybe we're gonna touch base with Hazel again. I don't know. It feels like he might be out in the Midwest doing something with the World's Biggest Bowl of Twine.
We're in an alternate timeline now, so yeah, he hasn't necessarily met the same fate from season 2, because timeline shifts. So who knows?
Get mixed up when we have timeline shifts like that.
Yeah.
Like that's what I always. Whenever we're watching it, and my husband, who's sitting on the couch over there, hates when there's alternate timelines. Like he rants and raves and rails against them. Meanwhile, I'm like, but on the other hand, like now we get to see all those characters again, maybe, possibly. But are they still, or did they not? I don't know. I always get confused.
Yeah, when I see the title "World's Biggest Ball of Twine," definitely like there is the tourist attraction angle, but I also think like, okay, so they changed the timeline. So now Reggie did not adopt them. So now, are there a bunch of thems still in their countries of origin? Is there a Klaus in Germany? Is there a Vanya in Russia? Is there a Diego in Latin America?
That's neat.
And does Allison's daughter still exist? Probably not. Dave is probably alive now. Patch, the cop from season 1's probably alive now. I just feel like it's all a tangled ball of different plots and I feel like it's really going to be hard to untangle it. You have all the
hence the ball of twine, the perfect
Yeah.
metaphor.
so
That's
I don't know, that's what it
great.
makes me think. I don't know.
That is great. I like that much better than a road trip episode. Although if they just meet the sparrows and they're like, let's hang out, and they go on to see, I'm okay with that. I'm totally on board for all of that. Let's see, pocket full of lightning. No
know.
idea.
Could be anybody.
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't have.
Lightning makes me think of like, oh, Dave in the chat is saying Thor. I was just about to say it makes me think of like a fight with like explosive power.
Yeah.
So
Okay, yeah, that
again,
could work.
could be anyone.
The next one, Cudgel Blitz. I have no idea what that means.
Google Blitz.
It's oh sorry, did someone else
What is
have
that?
No.
It has something to do with a black hole. It's a terminology in astrophysics about something that becomes a black hole. I believe it also refers to like a particular kind of tank or other heavy weapon. So
Okay.
I don't know. It could be either, as far as I'm concerned, or both.
So that feels like it could be a Vanya focused episode, or it could be a Klaus focused episode, depending on if we're going to be revisiting the Klaus as Soldier which I do want them to, but I don't want them to necessarily just see him in a war somewhere. I want him to get some closure or something. Kindest cut. Is this a... So the only time I've ever heard of this was it's a thing that comedian, filmmaker, and host of the Kevin Geeks Out show does, is a kindest cut, where he takes a arguably terrible movie and cuts it down to its essential 10 minutes, which are great. Other than that, it's like, is this a Shakespeare quote? Is this a reference to the unkindest cut? Is someone going to get Julius Caesared?
I mean, I'm expecting Diego's going to be the focus on this because knives. So.
Okay.
Knives Out.
That's.
I'm not convinced this is true, but I've seen people say that it could be about Vanya getting a haircut or top surgery.
Okay. All right.
And I am desperate for trans Vanya. I just have to say. And
that
I
could
think
be very
it's
interesting.
plausible. I think it's very possible the show will go there. Trans Vanya, please. Let's go.
Yeah. I think it's definitely a possibility. Marigold.
Okay. In the video, Steve Blackman was like, fans will know what this means, and everybody was like, what is he talking about?
This guy's a jerk.
So I looked into it, and according to like the visual effects guy,
this is very disturbing. Jen. This is very disturbing.
Okay,
I mean, but like, this is a public record of what the visual effects guy said. You didn't like follow to his own. Ask him.
Yeah, so I was waiting outside, and when he came to his car,
he said, no, it has to do with their powers, the origin of their powers. Apparently, there's a scene in space where Reginald has this jar, and he opens it, and out come these glowing lights, and supposedly that starts out as the formation of a marigold, and they're calling those glowing orbs the marigold.
Okay.
And supposedly, I'm not going to go any further than that.
No, that's fine. All right, that's interesting. Avita Zane, of course, that looks like it could be we're saying goodbye to a character. Hopefully not.
So long farewell.
I'm thinking Klaus-centric episode. I hope it's nothing too terribly sad. Or maybe closure with Dave the soldier.
That would be nice.
I need closure on that.
Yeah. Which we might get in this. Oh man, if we get the same thing in Wedding of the End of the World, would be
Oh
interesting.
my god. Send
That would be
those two
really,
down the aisle. I doubt it's them, but if they're the ones
yeah,
getting married, I will lose my mind.
that would be
I
neat.
ship it.
Yeah. Although Ovita's End, if it ends up being a Sound of Music kind of musical episode, I would also be okay
I
with that.
would love that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I like that.
Musical episode all the way.
Six Bells. It rings a bell. What's Six Bells? What does that sound? Does anyone?
Well,
I'm gonna duck into the private chat to see if anybody's screaming
it's
nautical.
probably-
Yeah, it's a pirate themed episode.
Oh,
Maybe.
it's a pirate thing.
The ship's bells at dawn.
Yeah, and then
I assume it has to do with the 6 umbrellas who are not Ben doing something. Maybe going to the Hotel Oblivion. Maybe the bells on the counter. I don't know.
Well, it would track with the last episode, which would be Oblivion. So for those of you who are big into character, this seems like it's a plot-heavy season, but that doesn't mean, obviously, that character development can't happen. There's plenty of interesting ways that all these characters can evolve over this season. I'm excited to see any of it. What is one thing you want to pull? Everyone who's a fan, what's one thing you want to see in season 3?
Okay.
Russell, you go first. We'll leave Jen for the end.
Oh God. I mean, we've talked about Hazel making an appearance, and I love Hazel, so it would be fun for him to come back. But I think I also do like we had those huge power, showing people showing off their powers to like peak effect at the start of season 2, and then at the very end of season 2. I would kind of like to see a little more superpower crazy stuff, especially now that we have a whole other team of supers. I think we have more reason for people to be doing the crazy, like over the top stuff. And I mean, the budget's got to be there by now. I mean, look at how many people want to see this show.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. I should have went first for having the least, for being the host, just to get it out of the way. I want to see more Ben stuff. Low key things. I just want to see more Ben doing Ben things, but actually seeing them go full superpower Russell would be a great idea. Gwen, what do you want to see?
Now that we've said it, I want like a musical episode. I want them to sing and dance and all of that. I think that would be great. I love it when any show has dancing. But also for Andy, I want like the emotional family drama, because he always complains it's a crying episode, and I want him to have reason to be crying at the show. So I want the family juicy drama, relationship stuff.
All right,
Steve
and Jen
did tease.
Oh, so go ahead, Russell.
He did tease they're going to have even better needle drops in this one, so you should look for even more fun, music to show up in this one. So,
oh, nice, good.
Let's see.
All right, Jen, if you could limit it to one.
Okay, I'll just do one. I'm a pretty serious Klaus stan, and I feel like they dropped the ball with him in season 2. In season 1, he was sort of comedy relief, but they did take his arc seriously. He was really growing, and then season 2 just kind of dropped it and went back to just comedic relief with occasional drama. But I feel like they really let the growth kind of stagnate, and I'm hoping there will be some more development for him and him actually using his powers. I was very angry that there were basically no ghosts in season 2, except for that really powerful, amazing opening scene that was then undone. So yeah, that's my hope.
All right, I think these are all fair points to make. I hope all our dreams come true. My dream is coming true right now as I reintroduce Al and Dave to the stream.
Yay.
Good contribution, guys, in the private chat.
I have so much fun speculating on stuff I've never seen before, because I can just say whatever I want and it's right.
And there's at least a 90% chance of it being based on a Nirvana song called Marigold. Agreed. To go back to our agenda, I know we're running a little late, but we have plenty of time because the times are time is infinite, and we never said where we were going to stop. So let's get our tiers update. Those of you who are following Russell on social media, you got a big release today. Talk to us about it, Russell.
Sure. So a couple of weeks ago, I released sort of the quick start version of my upcoming tabletop role-playing game, The Tears of a Machine. It's young adult drama and giant robot combat. I released a quick start, sort of a sample, and today I actually released that same content as an audiobook, which is important to me because a big part of my drive to make this version of the game is to actually have a more accessible audiobook version out there. So this is kind of proof of concept. You need a special e-reader in order to have it play back, unfortunately, because it's just not as widespread as I would have hoped it would be by now to have these accessible books. But I've got that out there. And when the real book, when the complete thing, which is all written, by the way, when the real book is kickstarted and funded and all that, I'm going to have a whole bunch of podcasters and streamers and other game designers, record the audio for it, including a certain Frank Hablawi, who's going to cover a chapter of it in there. It won't just be me droning on. You'll get to hear all these great, exciting people, read the book to you. So
also droning on. Yeah. And I have tried the screen reader function, and it does make following the written words so much. You have a little sample YouTube video or Vimeo movie video, and it does make reading along so much easier. I didn't realize how much of a auditory learner I am. So reading it through is helpful for me, but hearing it read out to me as I'm reading it through is very helpful. So it's fun.
That's the great thing about it, honestly. People kind of think of accessibility tools as being like for a blind reader or a dyslexic reader, but everybody learns better with sort of a multimedia experience. So that's why I figure it's just got to be out there. I think more people can appreciate it. Dyslexia is a lot more common than people know, honestly. So I think that people who don't necessarily know that they have a mild dyslexia will really find this easier to pick up when they can read along. The text's highlighted on screen. They have a human voice speaking to them instead of a synthesized computer voice. I want to make it that kind of experience. I guess I should tell people where to find it. At Robot Claw is my Twitter, where you can find it's my pinned post now. And if you hang around on itch.io, you can search for The Tears of a Machine SC, and you'll see the page for it up there. So even if it's not your bag, please just take a look at it. Take it for a run and let me know what you think. I'm hoping I'm doing this to try and broaden the audience in a way. So
yes, I think it's a great idea. And just to narrow the audience a bit for a second, Jen and Russell, what's it like working together? Married couple working on a creative project. I need to know the juicy details.
It's interesting. We worked on the first edition together, and this is now the second edition. And I kind of like the evolution from the last one to this one. The last time I feel like I was pretending to be someone else. I was doing like an anime style stuff, which isn't my style. And this time we had kind of an awkward start working on the art, and eventually I kind of had the realization like, I want this work to feel like it's mine, like that it comes from me, and Russell is totally cool with that, and I think that the end result of what we're getting now is so much better. What do you think, Russ?
No, I agree. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I kind of told you not so much like, oh, hey, I want this specific style. I just kind of showed you some of my inspirations, and you were able to to run with that. Jen is kind of our art director, so she actually we found a couple of other artists as well to supplement, and she's been great in working with them as well to coach along, so we have a consistent vision. And so, I think it's been really good. I really love the stuff that Jen is turning out, and I'm looking forward to sharing more of it soon.
And it's easy to get out of chores. If you want to be like, I could either help cook or I could work on the cover. Your choice.
Fine. Yeah.
Smart. Very smart. One of our comments in the private chat is Learning Ally. Yes, I noticed the software as well. I was like, yeah.
I just Googled your Twitter stuff and was like, wait a minute, I use that with my students all
Which
the
is helpful.
time.
Yeah, get the tools that they're using, people are using anyways. Yeah, smart. So following both of you on social media, I love the moment where I noticed like Jen was like, this is it. I'm in the groove. I love this thing I'm drawing. Should I live stream my drawing? And I'm like, yes, live stream your drawing. Live stream your drawing.
You should
right now.
You should.
And I would
Get on
love
there.
to see that. It'd be so great. But the highlight for me, I don't know why, is the Easter egg of the little cat. And the fact that it has blown up. Every time I see people talking about it, like, I see the cat. It's this little cat next to this giant mech that I guess was an afterthought. It's just like a little Easter egg. And as far as I know, people who have not been told it exists found it independently, and they're like, cat. And like, that's what the internet's for.
Yep.
I love it.
Identifying
Spot
cat. Love it.
Jen,
The internet is for cats.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's transition off into very quickly, for those of you who've been tuning in, waiting with bated breath for our locate coverage. Book club. We've been promising this for quite a while. I think we have a good idea. This is kind of a brainchild of Gwen and myself, and not at all James Carolyn, who couldn't be bothered to be on this show today because he's traveling the world with his
Las
family.
Vegas.
What a jerk. Working.
Does that?
Las Vegas, more like Las Vegas.
Yes, that's what he's doing. No, wait, no. So hopefully you're doing well, James. Yeah, but so we've done book club before. We've been trying to do another one for a while. The first book club I think we did was many years ago, and it was like
I was pregnant when we did that book club. It was
there was an even
darker shade of magic. Like the way back before that book club.
The way back before one was Jules Verne's Mysterious Island, and it was a tie-in to Lost, which was still on the air. Like, oh, we're gonna do that because we're talking about Lost, and it would be stupidest idea.
See, I love reading. I read all the time, but I do not like being told what to read. So I can't do book clubs.
Surprisingly, a lot of people don't enjoy being told what to read. I teach English to high school students, so I have a lot of experience with telling people what to read and them telling me I don't want to. So I get that. And you know what goes over really well? Independent reading, where it's like, you know what, you get to pick a book, any book, whatever book you like, and you're going to read it, and then you're going to tell us about it. And that's basically what we're doing here.
In high school, I liked all the books they assigned, and I finished them so fast, the teacher assigned me extra books.
That's what
now I want to know what the curriculum was for your senior. Was it like World Lit? Was it Brit Lit? Was it like coming of age literature? What was the deal?
I don't know. There's a theme I remember. Brave New World.
Dystopia.
Desire.
Okay. American Lit.
Maybe.
Brave New World isn't all this Huxley British.
Well, if you know what Dave's high school
American.
Dante's Inferno.
Write it down on a 3x5 inch index card and mail it into the studio, and then we'll find you and make you very.
I totally did not read all these books like 21 years ago. I did not graduate high school 21 years ago.
Oh, was this a college thing?
No.
Well, then it's irrelevant. No, okay, but seriously. So what we are doing, as Gwen gave us a wonderful transition that we stepped all over, is we are in fact reading on our own. We're doing
Choose Your Own Adventure Book Club.
Choose Your Own Adventure Book Club. So I guess we're going to try it out. We don't really know. We talked a little bit about it last week. I think we might suggest a few titles that are really good, or at least tell people in advance what we're reading, so some people can opt in and be like, oh, I actually also wanted to read that, and having a reading buddy would be good. But for the most part, we're just going to touch base every once in a while, talk about the books we're reading, and really just discuss the act of reading and how it brings joy to all of us involved. I know reading is one of the few things I can do that never bothers me. Does that make any sense? Like I could watch movies, and I'll watch a movie that kind of gets under my skin, or a TV series that gets under my skin. I can communicate on social media, and it almost always does. But there's something about actually reading a book that I'm like, this just turns off all the background noise of the world, and I can just immerse myself. So I think it's nice to get into that habit. The problem is without anybody else, without a social structure, it's all on you when you're free time.
I wish
I think that's a good idea.
Earlier, because when I was reading Christopher Paolini's sci-fi book last year, To Sleep in the Field of Stars or To Dream in the Field of Stars, I wanted to just rant and rave about how great it was for hours on end, because it's seriously one of the best sci-fi novels I ever read. I just love that book.
I think you could probably get away with it now. I don't know what I'm going to pick first. There may be a couple of them if I pick enough short books. Do you have any ideas?
Depending on how often we actually talk about things, you're going to hear about different books, because if I really like a book, I tear right through it. So,
yeah.
Gwen, do you have any ideas of books you want us to maybe to start off with as a suggestion, again, for anybody to pick up their own thing? Or
so one of the things that I know I've been reading and working my way through currently was inspired by Netflix, the Bridgerton books. Like,
oh, nice.
Normally, I would pick up the book before I watch the show. This time, everyone was all like, oh my God, gotta watch the show. So now I'm working my way through. And the beauty of it is there's 8 Bridgerton siblings and they each get a book. So I will probably be talking about Bridgerton books for a while.
That's a good idea.
That's like the first thing that I'm picking up. And then I just have a couple of like things that have been sitting on my nightstand. I got this one, Jennifer Weiner, Big Summer. Excited about that. Some body positivity and female friendships. And then I know there was something that James was pumped to read, and now I can't remember what it was.
I have a couple.
We'll have to check in with him later.
I actually have a couple of game books and whatnot that I've kickstarted that I'd like to even try to do just to get something off my shelf. Again, that nightstand collection, something other than like I don't know, the books I've been forcing myself to read for a while. Anybody else have a one that they can think of that they might want to launch? Dave, do you have one?
Yeah, I'm reading right now a new fantasy novel, Realm Breaker.
Okay.
Apparently this author wrote a bunch of YA novels I never read. Red Queen series, I don't know. But I just love this novel because it has a himbo elf.
Wait, the Red Queen series? Like Victoria Aveyard? Yeah.
Yes. So Realm Breaker.
I read that.
It has a himbo elf.
Okay, so she's got a new book out. I'm gonna have to put that on my to-read list.
Nice.
He's all like gets stabbed, and he just pulls out the knife, and the other people are like, "Don't do that. It's like silly humans. Why is all my blood falling out?"
Oh, interesting. Very nice.
But very good at world building because she does it contextually. It's not like an info dump. You just, what's this word mean? And then you figure out what that term is from how people are talking about it. It's a very smooth, seamless like world building that really makes you feel like you've been in this series for a long time, even though it's the very first book.
Yeah, it's very hard to pull off. I think it's my biggest problem with fantasy is when I'm like, I can't with the lexicon. I need use real words, which is why I tend towards urban fantasy, I think.
Did you see on the Geeked Netflix thing, they actually had a spelling bee for for made up words from Witcher and Shadow and Bone, and nobody got anything right because it was all just like this bizarre double A's and and umlauts and
Witcher, you just have to
fantasy language.
Witcher, you just have to find somebody that knows Polish and they'll tell you how to spell it.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, my favorite thing, Erwin, knowing the language that the series is based
Audio
on
versus
is full of spoilers. I think I've talked about this on a different podcast. There's something I guess I'm spoiling a Netflix show I don't know the name of, The Antichrist or something. There was something about, I think it was called The Messiah. and the main character's name in Arabic is Antichrist Jones, and I'm like, that's a little weird, isn't it?
Here's
call this guy Antichrist Jones. Does everybody else and the rest of the Arab world are, what's going on with the show about Antichrist Jones that everybody's calling the Messiah? And I think Netflix was like, hey, stop talking Arabic. That's not cool. What are you doing?
You're giving it away. You're giving it away.
No, that's
You
fine.
guys, you're cheating. You're not supposed to know.
I wouldn't wreck it.
Yeah.
So
all right.
here's the spoiler for like an almost 40-year-old movie. In John Carpenter's The Thing, the Norwegian scientists are saying Norwegian, stop, that's not really a dog, it's a monster, kill it.
Yeah. That's awesome. And also like the story of people in Norway watching this going, I don't know why aren't they like that is interesting.
No one's listening.
Although in defense of John Carpenter, I don't know if somebody telling me that the monster killed that dog would cause me to kill that dog. I'm one of those people who screamed about the cat in Jen's drawing, so I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, yeah, he's a monster, but he's so cute. He's a pet that would become everything. All right, so we have a plan. We're going to announce this on our fan club. You could join us at facebook.com/groups non-pro and other social media as well. We've hit the 9 o'clock time. I think it's time to talk about Loki for as long as we can stomach being around each other. That episode, it's
gotta go, guys. Haven't seen it. Peace out.
Okay. There you go. You missed the part where I said you could peace out whatever you. Yeah.
Going
bye, Glenn. All right.
Bye.
So now that she's gone. Anyways, so yeah, I was blown away that we actually got endgame footage in the opening. It's weird to see. I know it's stupid, but it's weird to see like these big film actors appearing in a like TV show. My mind is still like set 30 years in the past where there's no way you're going to get any of these people to appear on the show. And I think most of this was probably either footage from Endgame or unused footage from Endgame, but it was pretty cool to see that happening. Overall, I don't even know why I didn't start with this. I thought the episode was amazing. I think they've done a great job with all these Netflix shows. I'm sorry, all these Disney Plus shows. Marvel, do not cancel me. I think they've done a great job with this last batch of Disney Plus shows, and this first episode was amazing. Cinematic, perfect steam. We'll take turns talking about it. Dave, you're chomping at the bit. What do you want to say?
Well, the thing that just struck me and just made me love the show is like, you know how WandaVision was kind of like a love letter to sitcoms? If you look at the setting, the lighting of several scenes, this is a love letter to that dark, gritty, late 70s, early 80s, like sci-fi. Like, when he's interviewing Loki and he's asking those open-ended questions and the soundtrack gets a little synthy and the room has those industrial lights, it's like, holy shit, this is Blade Runner. Yeah,
I could definitely see it. There's a lot of
technology. The retro devices on the tables.
A straight-laced government organization whose responsibility is to manage the time stream, but not with cool suitcases necessarily. Umbrella Academy reference. But yeah, I think that I agree.
It's too similar.
It's only one episode, but this feels more momentous than the other two shows so far. Like it just feels like it has a bigger impact on the whole MCU.
Yeah, it definitely seems to establish things for their universe. Al, what did you think?
Oh, I really loved like the moment Loki realized like, oh, I am kind of out of my depth in this because there's through all of it we are very much stuck with Avengers Loki. And there's two really good scenes, one of which is the desk full of Infinity Stones, which the light leaving his eyes as he's looking at this and he's realizing like, oh my God, this is bigger than me. This is so much bigger than me. I didn't comprehend how big it was. And then going back to the room and watching the future with his father and his brother and then himself, like the gambit of emotions that Tom Hiddleston goes through of anger and like frustration, but like, you know, all this sadness and like happiness that he's feeling, like, you know, dad died, but he loved me and all this other stuff, and watching himself die and like the anger, but also like, it was really good acting.
Yeah, the acting. It was really
love
great.
How after the end of all that, he answers that question like, "No, I don't enjoy hurting people."
Yeah.
And then he quotes the thing he says everybody else does. It's just part of the illusion of somebody who's weak trying to intimidate everybody else. Like, he's acknowledging he's weak.
Great writing, great acting. Jen, what did you think of the first episode?
I didn't love it at first, probably because I was distracted by the similarities to Umbrella Academy. It was weirding me out. Like they were doing the commission, but with Disney money, and that just feels unfair.
Right? Yeah.
But it really started to click for me when Loki started looking through his future, through the death of his father, and then his own death, and that held a lot of weight. Like that, I really felt that, and from that point on, I was down. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next. And I love the DB Cooper reference. That was really
Oh my god, that was so
As soon as he handed the note, I just shouted out, "Is he DB Cooper?"
Yeah. Yeah, I had the same reaction. Russell, what did you think?
I think most people have kind of covered. I think one of the things that it's worth pointing out as well is Owen Wilson in this episode, because it's what's really great, and this is down to Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston's acting, is the shift in the power dynamic back and forth. How I was kind of expecting, like, the very beginning, you're expecting like Owen Wilson's like, I can't remember the character's name. I'm sorry, but he's like, Loki,
Agent Mobius.
Mobius, yeah. For Mobius, I think he only said it once in the whole episode.
Yeah. I've been racking my brain on that, and then it just clicked when you said you couldn't remember.
But it starts very much with Mobius in kind of this position of authority, and Loki like struggling against that. But then I think as it goes on, you really do see it shift back and forth. Like there's that, there's a part where Loki doesn't have the control collar on anymore, and Mobius is there, and he's like still talking to him the same way, but he doesn't put down the weapon, the eraser baton the whole time. He's still like, and it's really interesting to see that shift back and forth. I think they really played that stuff very well, because it really stays true to the character of Loki being this character who so much of his stuff is just the shift of power dynamic. When is he lying? When there's an advantage. When is he telling the truth? When it's to his advantage. And so we're still staying very true to the character, even as we're breaking him down. Even as we're saying, like, hey, look at your life. Hey, look at what you've achieved and what you've missed and all that kind of thing. Even as we're like breaking him down to his base, we're still staying true to his, to the power of who's in control, and and how that shifts. I think that was really, really great performances by the two of them to pull all that off.
Yeah. It definitely, the performances take the cake on this. There's some amusing world building in here and there. I'll go as far as to say that the way time travel and the sacred timeline is handled is thankfully more linear, but also more basic than the way it's done in Umbrella Academy, where there is like so much room for questioning and blanks to be filled out in one show, versus like, this is basic. It's going to be a procedural. We're going to kind of address some of the big questions Endgame put in a lot of fans' brains over which timeline, what happened, but we don't ever really want to deal with this. So there's one timeline. This is just a way of bringing in Loki back because he's a star, and then allowing the actors to play out who these characters are. Why should we be rooting for a person who's done horrible things? I forgot about the eyeball incident until the show brought it up. And I'm like, yeah, this is all really genuine, good stuff. Interesting world building, sure, but really interesting character building and deconstructing. And the fact that it's like just a plain mystery behind there, a pretty linear mystery of who is the other Loki who's doing horrible things through time is cool. I don't need much really more.
Nice stinger at the end of the episode was the like, oh well, it's you. We we need your help to catch you.
No, and it's you don't need it to be more complicated than that. We're all tuning in to see Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson also taking over and doing a wonderful job with that.
Yeah.
But that's all we really want. So I think it's good that we gave them room to do that story.
I
on a world building note.
I didn't even know that was Owen Wilson. Like until I saw the credits of Owen Wilson, I'm like, that's why his nose is messed up.
Yep, that's
so I was
right.
thinking there was some elaborate backstory that the other Loki like did something to his nose, and then it's like, oh, it's just Owen Wilson.
It may still come in. Russell, what were you saying?
I was going to say it's kind of interesting how this is with the whole idea of the timeline thing. They are really cementing the importance of continuity in Marvel. And the idea there is one timeline, all these things connect together. So don't miss any of the movies, damn it. Meanwhile, DC is like diversifying, like, oh, hey, we have multiple Batmans existing at the same time. No big deal. So it's just kind of funny to see like the contrast of the properties there. Like one is like, they're Marvel is like, no, it's the one path. Everything is this way. And DC is like, we don't know. Multiple realities. Just live with it.
Build off of that, getting rid of the evil variants. It's like, hello, Netflix shows and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Goodbye, Netflix shows and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Maybe Coulson was reintroduced finally. I mean, I guess he was also in Captain Marvel, but we don't know. Yeah. I almost thought Mobius was going to pull on Loki, like, what did Loki say? Something like little consolation for a dead man. And if Mobius like dead man, no, 7 seasons, man. That show was doing pretty damn well, and you couldn't even kill one guy. That was fun. But we did not get that. At least we didn't have it yet. Who knows what the future lies? I think if DC would just lean into the multiverse heavier, it would be awesome. I actually think Marvel might be. I think
because multiverse of madness.
Multiverse, this is the first time they've used the phrase multiverse. They announced the role-playing game, The Multiverse, which is a part of the cinematic universe. We might see this as the doorway in, but who knows?
Yeah. I hope that's not just like, I hope they didn't just spoil the ending for us. It's like, and then in episode 13, the TVA explodes, okay? So now it's all multiverse. There you go. Like, I hope it's not that simple. We'll see.
They might just often do like, well, maybe the multiverse is a good idea after all, or something like that. Who knows? We never saw what the reset thing does, and I feel like that's going to be a plot point whenever we finally see how that works out.
Yeah,
because they may be the bad guys. We don't know.
This whole setting reminds me of, I forget the name of the novel, but there's like an Isaac Asimov novel about a guy who works for some bureaucratic time authority going around fixing mistakes in the time stream until
it takes place in the same world as Foundation, if memory serves.
You may have just told us what Plot Zero was in both Umbrella Academy and Loki. Well, there's making like clear references to this Asimov story that we are too dumb to have read yet.
It's a very weird story, written I think much later in his career, if memory serves.
A later book.
Yeah,
it's a Philip K. Dick story that's called The Adjustment Bureau that I still haven't read. That's a similar thing. It's about people going around like setting the world the way it's supposed to be. But I think there's supposed to be angels in that or something, because this was Philip K. Dick as he was like crossing his religious philosophical science stuff. So
Asimov just had sexy robots. Yeah, that was Asimov's thing. Yeah. Sexy robots.
That will be sexy robots.
Sexy detective robots.
Yes.
Less drugs in his writing. Got it. Yeah.
You know what? Tears of a Machine does well in its second edition. Sexy detective robots just could be.
I'll let you write that source book. You can.
Nice. I love it. I mean, it was one episode, so I don't know how much detail we could get into. We really, without being really obsessive over it, but excited to see the rest of the episodes. There's only 6 in this season, so these super short seasons are not doing it for me. Not doing it for me. But what are you gonna do? Before we close, we have some viewer questions that I would like to answer. I think we answered a lot of these already. What new show, book, game should I invest in? I'm going to do something corny and say like Tears of the Machine. It's coming out on Kickstarter very soon. But other good things.
July 6th. I forgot to say the date. July 6th, Kickstarter launch.
July 6th.
Anyway. Yeah.
Shows to get. If you haven't seen any of the shows we talked about, I think like we've spoken highly of everything we've watched. So yeah, any of those are going to be, obviously I can't imagine you've never seen Stranger Things, but if you haven't, get on it. And Umbrella Academy is maybe a little bit more vague to people, but yeah, that's a great show. 2 seasons, easy to catch up on, a lot of fun. I've been watching Doom Patrol on HBO Max.
God,
and I actually
Brandon
really
Fraser in that show, man.
Yeah, he's just done a great job. A few issues here and there with that show and how it deals with a couple of things, but you know what, more or less fun. Anybody else have one that we haven't mentioned? If you can, just blurt it out at any point. We're going to get involved in live chat. All the channels have a live chat as we go live, if that's what you're asking. Or if you're asking about our fan club, it's mostly a Facebook group, but we also have a Discord. You could join that and force us to use it. It's literally it.
Probably a good idea. Yep.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna remember like 8 different shows after this ends and be like,
of course.
I did not imagine that.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, why no Witcher season 2? Toss a coin at Chababy.
But we are getting a season 2. Didn't they come in and announce that?
Why no? Okay, so on Geeked Week, I don't think they've mentioned anything, but we're only halfway through.
Yeah.
So we have 3 more days.
Talking about their game properties in the last one. I'm also sad we didn't watch yet tomorrow's one, which is going to have Masters of the Universe and Resident Evil and Godzilla. And I'm like, what's happening? I want to be involved in all that. But next time.
That's why we have to have it next week. Next week, we're going to have to do like a full retrospective of the whole.
We'll do a follow-up and talk about them. But yeah, I'm certain Witcher Season 2 is going to be talked about in their final day, whether they're talking about game properties. But hey, this has been fun. Thank you all for joining. We're on all your major podcasts. For those of you watching the live stream, we're all on wherever you get your fine podcasts. You can download to the audio version of the show, and an archive will be available soon. I'm going to go round table. Al, do you have anything that you're working on you'd like to tell people about?
Besides ZoloCon on the 25th of July, that's kind of about it. I would say go there and visit Al's Gaming Emporium and buy some video games and some toys.
Mm-hmm. Dave, do you have anything going on that you would like to tell us about?
Not really. Like, I don't have time to be creative.
Do more art on your Dave on Tumblr.
I haven't.
Do it. Do more art. Your art.
I'm so rusty now.
Oh yes, that's the problem. You being rusty now. Come on, make more art.
Did you see the later artwork I did where I actually took some lessons?
No,
it actually looks like real stuff.
I just love the name of the blog, Dear Dave. Yes, Russell. Where can we already discussed it, but where can we find more about your game coming out?
Yep, I mean, really, just the Twitter at RobotClaw. I do have a website where my blog is robotclaw.info. There are a few blog posts up there. I owe people a few more, especially to get into the details of what's up. But that's basically what my creative life is about, at least until the winter. So.
Also, I got the date wrong for my convention. It's the 17th, not the 25th. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Go back in time and fix that. All right, 17th. So if you've already called for a time out from work, tell them the bad news. You have to get it early. And Jen Rogers, where can we find out more about your work?
You can catch me on Twitter at Jen Rogers Art. I don't have a lot going on right now except for Tears of a Machine, but I will be posting some image updates there, and I'm excited to talk to you there.
Yay! All right, I can't wait to find out more about all these projects and to see how well the con goes for Al. Thank you all to all our patrons. We couldn't do it without you, and in fact, we've updated our list. Yay! And it scrolls. Well, it will eventually. Thank you all. We're on patreon.com/nonpro and on all the other social media sites you've ever been on. I think we may be doing a show next week that's going to be a follow-up for Geek Week and other content, but we are going to consider whether we're doing this weekly or monthly. As I started this podcast off, totally forgot that every week is going to be a bunch of material. But you let us know by leaving us a comment on what you thought about Loki, about Geeked Week, and about our show and our guests. So thank you all for joining. Good night, everyone. I'm scrolling up for the ending music video. So.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer, Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.